Hello, kids. Welcome back to the library. I'm glad to see you here again. Let's get started with today's lesson. So, our objective for today is that we will differ a credible website from a non credible website. So the word credible means that it is something that we can trust because it is backed up by other evidence. Whereas a non credible website, sometimes the information they have in there might be a little bit fishy or it might be opposite as to what we see in other places. Why does it matter? So, in learning credibility is a life skill. We're gonna need it our whole lives, especially in the college, in our careers, and just in everyday life when we see news. So, in college, we're gonna be researching a lot about papers, depending what career you choose, especially in your undergraduate studies, in your basics classes. They're gonna ask you to write about different topics, and your professors will usually ask for peer reviewed articles that are credible. We're not allowed to use Google, so it's a good idea to start now that we can use a little bit of our regular sites to start seeing what's the difference between a credible and a non credible site. Our career is also very important to be credible because we might work in a career such as medicine, and new things come up all the time. And when we bring it up to our peers, we need to be able to have uh, evidence as to, you know what, this comes from a really highly reputable medical database. It doesn't, whereas if, oh, I saw it on Google or I read it on a magazine. For the news, we see this all the time. You might hear the term fake news because sometimes people fall for them, and it might start to create a super bad panic. As you may know, in the COVID, sometimes it blew out of proportion, whereas it wasn't as bad as we thought. But of course, we didn't know that. But that's why it's important to know when a news report is reliable, whereas when it is a little bit fishy. So for today's activity, we're gonna be working on a Padlet. Okay, so the first section of this Padlet, I want you to comment below and see what you know, what experience you have with research, and what you may know about credibility. So in the next section, you're gonna get to learn about it or review it if you've already had experience with it. And you're gonna start with a nearby video that will teach you about different ways you can fall for fake information. And then in the next one, you'll see a video about what it is. So the next section, after you're done with that one, you're going to be participating in an activity. It's an online, kind of like a game, and it teaches you about a strategy called the trap test. The next one is a website called Snopes, and let's say that you're find a website and you're kind of on the edge of it. You don't know if it may be reliable or not. You can always come on here and double check to see if it is verified. Next, you're going to be completing a vocabulary match with some important words that you need to know. And last, for this section, you're going to be playing a game with your peers to see who can be able to tell the most credible resources. The next part, you're going to be evaluating 4 different websites, and what I want you to do is to use the trap test from the previous section and see if you're able to defer and tell which ones are credible and which ones are non-credible. Last part is going to be your Venn diagram. You're going to log on to Jamboard, log in with Google, and I ask of you please not to mess with each other's sections. You're going to be writing 3 points on each of the Venn diagram section, writing about how you can tell it's a credible site, how you can tell it's a non-credible site, but of course they have some things in common. Now you're gonna have yourself help yourself with this Venn diagram, because your discussion question that I want you to keep in mind, because we're gonna come back together and discuss how can I tell if a source is credible? Okay, now for extra credit, it would be awesome if you could even show us an example of a credible site that maybe you used before, or that you know for sure that this is a credible site. And that's it, guys. Let's get to it.